Dia is the first-time caller from Australia. Dia, welcome to the show. Thank you for calling.
Hi, how are you? It's really lovely to hear your voice, Mr. Lee Peterson.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. I appreciate that. All the way from Australia.
Yes, I'm all the way from Australia. I'm actually a Latina living in Australia, which I know people in America find odd.
And how did you end up in Australia?
Oh, my dad was living in Australia. He left Spain when he was very young, and then he met my mother, who was from Colombia, through my auntie, who was already living in Australia. So then, yeah, I'm the result of that union.
And so how do you like it?
How do I like living in this country?
Yes.
I like it very much. It's one of the best countries on earth, but unfortunately, a lot of Marxism has taken hold, and now, like in the state that I live in Victoria, children are being taught about gender theory too young and transgenderism, and Christianity is being taken out of public schools. It's a big, big problem, and it really frustrates me.
And why are the Australians allowing that to happen? Why is it happening?
I think it is written. It says so in the Bible that this will happen, and I'm trying to fight for it. That's not the reason I called, oddly, but it's a good discussion to have. I'm trying to fight for it. I actually have a YouTube channel, and I've been communicating with one of your helpers, Elia Zahn or something. He said he'd try to get you on my channel to talk about these things.
Oh, okay.
But,
Ermias.
Sorry?
His name is Ermias, my PR guy.
It's an E name.
Yeah.
It's a unique name. It begins with E. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. You say that again.
But I'm a Christian, and I want to sort of make a difference and do what I can. And like you, I'm very much targeted by the left here in this country, and because of my faith, and because of the things that I say, and because of certain guilt by association. And yeah, it's disheartening, but I'm just doing what I can.
Yes. Well, I would love to come on, so I'll talk to Ermias about that, and we definitely will get back to you on that.
That's amazing.
Okay, and so you called me about what?
Oh, I called you because I was curious about something.
Okay.
How long in your life, when you know people who are not Christian and you pray for them to become a Christian, how long does it take until that prayer is answered? Because I can't imagine praying for someone for years for them to feel their heart of stone turn to a heart of flesh, and to have the Holy Spirit reveal Himself to them. Has that happened, and how long did the prayer take when it happened in your circumstance?
That's a very mamma mia, hola, good question.
Thank you.
First of all, you should not pray that someone should become a Christian. You should ask God to let His will be done for them. And you should always wish everyone well. And that's a prayer. Pray to,
I should wish everyone what? Sorry, I misunderstood the last bit.
You should wish all people well. Wish them well.
Oh, well. Wish them well.
Yes, and that's a prayer. And ask God to let His will be done, because it might not be the will of God that everyone should become a Christian or be saved.
But that's silly. Then that means people will end up in hell. That doesn't work.
But
that doesn't sound right.
I know, but that's up to God and that individual. That individual may be the type of male or female that has decided they love Satan, they love evil more than good. And only God knows a person's heart. And so you may pray that that person become a Christian, and that person will end up killing you or end up causing a lot of problems for others or themselves, because we don't really know the person's heart. Only God knows their heart. And He would allow those who He wants to draw unto Him. He would do that. And we can't make that decision.
Oh, okay. That's very depressing.
Why does it sound depressing?
Why is it depressing? Because if I die and I end up in heaven, the wages of sin is death. But if I end up in heaven and I don't see that person there, that'll be sad.
But it might not be, because in heaven you have perfect peace. You won't miss anybody or anything. Hold on.
Even in heaven.
Hold on 1 minute, okay? Such a good conversation. Hold on. Dear, what time is it in Australia right now?
It is 11:30 p.m.
11:30 p.m. Monday?
Yes.
Oh, amazing. That's amazing. 11:30 p.m. That's 11:30 at night.
Yeah.
Wow. So you said that if you should die and you go to heaven and you don't see people that you know up there, it would be depressing?
Well, yeah, I think so.
But why if God is perfect love, all peace all the time, why do you think it would be depressing?
Because even in heaven, we don't have cognitive dissonance. There's still intelligence and intellect there. So you know that there are people that didn't make it.
Yeah, but in heaven, there are no emotions. You're not like emotionally tired to anyone or anything. You're just a free, peaceful person. It could be here on earth if men and women were to repent and overcome sin. They can have perfect peace on earth. Really, paradise is lost and found right here on earth. But you got to return. You must be born again. And once you're born again, everything changes. Your relationship with people, the way you see them and the way you feel about them. And
I am born again, but none of that changed for me.
Why not?
I don't know. That never changed for me. My relationships with my friends have gotten worse lately, but not because of Christ. They've gotten worse because I've become really political, and they don't understand it.
And but it's not about them; it's about you. Because once you are born again, you will have perfect peace, but they won't, because they would not have been born again. Have you
more peace.
Have you overcome anger?
No, I'm still holding a couple of grudges against them and against the person. Yeah, I still have a couple of grudges in me that I'm trying to pray out. I'm trying to pray it out. But
you can't pray it out. So why do you think you have been born again if you still have anger and you hold grudges against your fellow man?
Because I love the Lord, and because I go to church and I enjoy Bible study. So there's my love for the Lord is evident in those sorts of things.
And so if you love God, how can you hold grudges against your fellow man? You've never seen God, but you see your fellow man all the time. Oh, woman, how can you love God but not love them?
Because I do love them. Being angry at someone doesn't stop you from loving. But I think because I don't like the way they acted towards me, that I still, in my head, I guess I'm being a little bit of a victim, slightly, I guess you could say.
Yes.
I'm still holding on to I think I'm playing the victim a bit too much in my head.
Yes.
My emotions.
And
yeah.
I'm telling you, of course, God can do what he wants, and he does. But if you were to forgive, you got to let go of the resentment for your father and mother, especially mother, and then you got to love your father. Love both parents. Don't hate them. Don't have any.
I do love my parents.
Don't have any anger, and don't judge yourself. And then God will take that spirit of anger away from you, and you will have perfect love, and you will feel the exact same way toward all human beings. And it wouldn't be whether they like you or not, or love you or not. You would love them. And it wouldn't bother you if they loved you or not. But you got to overcome anger by forgiving. Have you gone to your mother and forgiven her?
My mother does not need forgiveness. She's perfect. My father, maybe. I need to forgive him myself.
And how is it that your mother is perfect?
Because she's a I don't know, she's cute and she's little and she's such a devout mother, a devout Christian, and all she does is care and pray, and you would like her. She's a good woman.
So you believe,
Christian.
so you believe that human beings can be perfect then, right?
No, I don't think she's perfect. I just meant that. I just meant it as a compliment to her. Like, she's amazing.
She's cute and little and Christian and go to church, right?
Yeah. She's the epitome of Christian love.
And so, is she married to your father?
Yeah, they're still together.
And so, what do you resent your father for?
A lot of things. The way he treated her, the way he treated us.
What did
he did the best he could.
What did he do to you?
To me?
Uh-huh.
He didn't do anything that bad, but like just being too, I don't know, swearing at us when he shouldn't have, saying words like.
What did he do to Dia? What did he do to you?
I don't know. I don't really know how to. It's just a lifetime of little things that I found inappropriate.
What did he do?
Inappropriate in a criminal way, just inappropriate in a morally. Some things a father shouldn't say. Like, he used to call me a C-U-N-T.
He call you what?
A C-U-N-T.
Oh, and were you?
No.
Why did he call you that?
I think he was just angry. Like, yeah, but I did rebel, like, when I was 13 years old. But I didn't do anything that bad. Like, so I just rebelled in the context of, like, having an attitude. I never did anything like steal a car or anything like that. I was a pretty good girl.
And so he called you a C-U-N-T because you had rebelled against him, right?
I mean, some of the time maybe, but not, like, sometimes he just said it for no reason.
What else did he do to you?
Just get angry unnecessarily, I suppose. But to me specifically, I think it's more how he treated my mum that I resent him.
But why do you resent him for? Why do you resent him for the way he and your mother got along? That had nothing to do with you. Those are two people in a relationship, and when people in a relationship, they're gonna fight. They're gonna disagree. Why have you decided to resent him but not your mother? She played a role in it too.
No, my father should not have hit my mother. My father should not have treated her the way he did. What did
she do to cause him to hit her?
They were fighting. I forgot what they were fighting about, but she ripped a letter that he got from Spain, and because she ripped the letter he got from Spain, he then hit her.
And so, had she not ripped the letter, he would not have hit her, right?
I don't know. I don't feel like that's enough of a reason to hit someone so pure.
You know, what I want you to realize, dear, that you're never going to have peace on earth until you learn until you love your earthly father.
I do love him.
If you just said you resented him.
That doesn't mean I don't love him.
How can you resent and love?
It's two sides of the same coin.
Have you gone to him and forgiven him for what he did to you, not what he did to your mother? Your mother needs to apologize what she did to him, and he needs to apologize to her for what he did to her. But have you gone to your father? Have you gone to your father as a Christian and forgiven him?
I haven't actively told him that, no.
Why not? God said if you have a problem with your fellow man, go and forgive them.
Well, because it seems fine. We're okay. I don't like, we're fine. I help him when he needs it.
But you still hold resentment in your heart, and that's not love. Perfect love doesn't include resentment at all. So you're treating your father in the same way that your mother treat him, because you have identified with your mother and gone against your father.
Because it's a lot easier to go against someone who is not as kind as, my mother. It's very easy to go against someone who's
But your
kind
your mother is not a kind person either. She just pretend to be a victim. And when you were a little child,
she doesn't at all.
she pretended to be a victim with your father, and she caused you to identify with her. And so now you're seeing your father out of your mother's eyes and not out of your own eyes. You have identified with your mother.
Of course I've identified with my mother, but I have a mind of my own. I have the ability to look at it from a third-party perspective.
But you don't have a mind of your own, because if you had a mind of your own, you would love both parents the same. You wouldn't resent either one, and you will understand that.
I've always loved my mother more than my father.
Then if you love your mother more than your father, then you don't love God.
I do love God.
No, you can't.
You don't know my heart.
How can you love God whom you never see and hate your father who you see? It's impossible.
I don't hate my father.
You
I don't hate my father.
Resentment is hatred. It's anger.
What?
Anger, resentment, and hatred are all the same. The effects of all three of those are the same. It's just that the human beings in their fallen state changed the word from hate to resentment to anger.
Jesus himself had anger. He turned over a table. So why, not that I'm comparing myself to Jesus. That's not one of my intention. But, if I can have anger, I can still have love. You see what I mean?
No, it's impossible, because anger brings on a false love. It's an emotional love. And it's based on how someone treat you or what they say or do. You don't have pure love, which is from God toward your fellow man. And you're never going to have it until you go to your father and forgive him. First of all, he hasn't really done anything to you, but forgive him, because you have judged your father, and it's based on your mother. Your mother has seduced you, and you don't realize it. Your mother is playing perfect. Ask your father. Go to your father. If you doubt me, go to your father and say, what is it like? What has it been to be married to my mother? What is it like? What is she like? And listen to him. Hear him out instead of judging him, and then you see what's really going on.
I think if you spoke to my dad, you would side with my mother as well.
Would you talk to him? And I'm not saying that your father doesn't have issues. It sounds like he does. But you're going to suffer forever as long as you resent him. You're never going to love God. Yes, you're going to go to church, and the preacher's going to tell you that you do, because you wear the name of Christian, right? But if you don't love your earthly father, it's impossible to love God. There is a spiritual order, and that order is God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. And if you can't love your earthly father, you're definitely not going to love his. If you can't love his son, you would never love the father. And your earthly father is a son of God, and you hate the son.
I don't hate him, but I understand what you're trying to say, and I can definitely do that. But I'll only do that if you come on my show.
I will come on. Absolutely. I have Irma's have your contact information, right?
Yes.
I would come on whether you agree with me or not. I'd be happy to come on. So I have him contact you, and we'll set it up.
That's good. That's exciting.
But I don't want to make that kind of deal, because your soul is at hand. And if you don't love the Son of God, which is your Father, you will never love God, who is your Creator. So I urge you to go to him and just have a conversation. Don't go to him yelling at him, accusing him, talking about what you...
No, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to yell at him.
Yeah, talking about what he did to Mama. Mama is not innocent. She's pretending. She's hiding behind... Your
I don't like
mother,
she's innocent.
your mother is hiding behind Christianity.
No, she's not. But you are right that she's not innocent in the context that no human being is innocent.
And she's not innocent with your father. She drove your father crazy because your father is married to his mother. Your mother is just like your father's mother because you become like what you hate and you become attracted to what you hate, right? And so your father is attracted, have a love-hate relationship for the same spirit that's in his mother. And likewise, if you don't love your father, you're going to end up with men just like your father who are weak, angry, and can't handle you or any situation.
That's the first thing you said that I actually really agree with, because my grandmother was nothing like my mother, but my former boyfriend is very much like my father in his macho-ness, and that's actually true.
And I guarantee you're just not aware of it, but your mother is just like your father's mother. He's married to his mother.
No,
that's why he
you're
can.
wrong about that. But you're wrong about that. But you are right about the fact that like my boyfriend was very much like my father. No, my grandmother was very exhausting and really needy. My mother is not like that. She's generous and kind.
But her kindness is fake.
No, it's not.
She is
You can't say that about my mom. You're so lucky I don't get offended. You're so lucky I'm not Jacqueline Glenn and I don't get offended easily.
She is pretending to be a nice person when on the inside she's an angry, miserable person. I want you to ask your father, is your mother like his mother in any way? And hear him out. Don't interrupt him. Ask your father, is your mother like his mother in any way?
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
And when I come on the show, if you haven't called me back, you can tell me about it.
Okay, that sounds good. I will. I'll do that.
All right. And so for these people that you want to pray for, just wish them well. And wishing human beings well is a prayer. And ask God to let his will be done for them, because God knows better than you and I do. And he will do what is just and what is right.
Yeah, that's the hard part, letting go of control.
Yeah, women love to control.
And I have to learn to not.
Well, if you forgive your mother and return to your father, you would stop trying to control and you would allow people to just be, let them be where they got to be until they decide to change.
Yeah.
All right?
I've got to give that a try.
You become just like your mother. You're not yourself.
I'm very different to my mother.
Well, then, if you are, ask your father if his wife, your mother, like his mother at all. Are they alike in any form, all right?
Yeah, no, I want to know if that's... Yeah, I actually never thought to ask a question like that. I'm happy to ask him.
Yeah, it's going to be... I can't wait to hear what the answer is. I know what the answer is, but I'm looking forward to hear you tell me the answer. Dia, thank you.
Well, I'll see. Yeah, go.
Thank you for your call. I will come on your show. When you guys set it up, I'll be happy to do it.
Yeah, come on in the next 2 weeks. It'll be exciting.
Okay, absolutely.
Okay, thank you so much for talking to me. I appreciate it.
I enjoy talking to you.
Oh, same. Thank you.
All right, take care now.
Okay, bye.
Bye. It's amazing the game that most mothers have played on the children. The mother know how to play innocent, play victim, and make the father look like the bad person, and turn the kids against the father. And then the kids, as adults, will not have peace until they return to the father. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. What do you think about that discussion?
It is interesting that almost you almost can't. Most people just can't even like fathom to think that their mom did anything wrong, and it's the weirdest thing. Because even if they did, even if they were close to, they were really good or whatever the case is, there's no reason that the father would do the things that he does just to do them.
Well, most adult men and women, boys and girls, don't love their mothers. They hate their mothers so much, and that they are so emotional about it. And in that emotional state, there's a sense of guilt and everything, and they're associating that with love. They think that if they tell their mother the truth, if they disagree with her, somehow or another it's gonna hurt her feelings. She's gonna get mad, all that kind of stuff, and they are afraid to deal with her.
No, I can see that. I just think that, let's just say in a perfect situation where the mom is like no fault or whatever the case is, why would a father do all those things to the mother that has no fault? It doesn't make sense.
But a man has never married a woman that has no fault.
But it just goes to show that the woman does have fault, because the father, like in her situation, the father would have just started attacking or whatever the case is, just because even though the mom was good, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
There would have to be something that the mom did in order for the dad. Nobody just goes to attack an innocent person.
That's right. The father's not like waking up in the morning, let me just beat my wife while I leave.
She's too pure.
She's just so good, I need to beat her. But what it is, Satan is wicked in all his ways. And he has worked through the intellectuals and to convince them that women are not at fault. They have nothing to do with it. It's all the man's fault. Mm-hmm. And then you're not allowed to even ask her, what did she do?
Yeah.
And so the women in that fallen state of ego love that kind of treatment. The ego love to be worshipped. Mm-hmm. They allow that to happen too. Even at the risk of destroying their children and the next generation, all that. It's crazy what has happened.
And you believe that the guilt and all that stuff kind of mixes together to make them feel like they love their
100%. I believe, I know it for a fact. Because once you forgive, that guilt disappears. Now you're able to speak up to both parents.
Yeah.
And to all people, treat them equally.
Interesting.
Uh-huh. Isn't that amazing?
Deep.